So, tunnel vision. Christians have tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, what is it? It is a form of self-induced blindness. That's right, self-induced blindness. It is a form of blindness that is, how would I say, um, there's a certain arrogance to it. You can't make somebody believe something that's sitting right in front of them because they refuse to alter their vision, the way of looking at things. Okay? So, and the greatest example of this in Scripture is where the Gentiles, the Christians, believe that Israel will not be saved when in Romans 11 verse 26 it says, and all Israel shall be saved. And when you read the prior verse, you realize that it's when the time of the Gentiles comes to the end. All Israel shall be saved. Christians do not believe this. Why? Because their preachers told them lies. And if their preachers told them lies about one thing in the Scripture, they told them lies about everything. And I'm going to cover a subject today that I glanced over just a little bit in the last video. It is about the beast with a deadly wound, and the deadly wound was healed. But wait a minute, there's something wrong with that statement. It doesn't say beast with a deadly wound. No. That's not how it's spoken or written. So let's go look at it. We will go to Revelation 13. And we will start in verse 3. He's talking about a beast rising up out of the Thalassa, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea. Because Yochanan, he's having a vision, and he is standing on the shore of Israel. And this beast had 7 heads. We'll talk about 10 horns later. 7 heads. And upon his horns, the 10 horns, 10 crowns, so these 10 horns, they were kings. They're different from the 7 heads. And upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, aka the Gentiles. It had in it the Grecians, the Persians, and these are lands they had taken over, and the Babylonians. The dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. Now one of the heads, now this is the way you Christians read it, was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. That's not what it says. Okay. Strangely enough, King James Version got it right, as it were. The Greek word is hos. And it appeared, where is it at? After been were at were as soon, even as, or like, or how greatly like. Okay, here it is right here. Appeared. And they even have an asterisk over it. It appeared. So it appeared, it looked like. Oh, see, that changes everything, doesn't it? Remember what I said? That one of the members of the Claudius Dynasty faked his own death? I said that sort of offhand yesterday or day before yesterday, whenever it was. But I wasn't wrong. I was wrong about one thing. I couldn't remember who came first, Caligula or Nero. Caligula came first, and he was the one who Paul was talking about in 2 Thessalonians 2. I saw one of the heads, there were 7 heads, appeared to be wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. Now, he may have died, he may have faked his own death. We don't know for sure. Okay, so it is either one of the two. But if he had appeared to be wounded to death, and then it also appeared his deadly wound was healed. That brings me to Julio Claudius Dynasty. Okay? Now, first beast, second beast. The 7 heads, but there was an 8th head that was of the 7. I'll explain that. But the Julio Claudius Dynasty was Rome's first imperial dynasty, the first beast. The second beast had 2 horns on its head like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So he had 2 horns on his head like a lamb, which pretended to be the sheep of Israel, but spoke like a dragon. Okay? So what we have here is Augustus, Tiberias, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero established a transition from the Roman Republic to the autocratic principate system. Okay? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Somewhere in my notes. Oh, where did I put my notes to? There they are. Now, let's see if I can find it. Okay. Now, so I'm just going to make this easy. Write this down. Head number 1, Augustus. Head number 2, Tiberias. Head number 3, Caligula. Head number 4, Claudius. Head number 5, Nero. Head number 6, Galba. Head number 7, Vitellius. And head number 8, Vespasian. Now, the 7, they were all members of a group. Vespasian was not a member of that group. He was the 8th. He was the one that is written that went into perdition. What does that mean? He is the one that carried out the will of Caligula and Nero. What was the will of Caligula and Nero? It was, Caligula's was to place the graven image of himself as Deus Pater, Deus, the one that the Latins, even to this day, the Roman Catholics, the Spanish Catholics, the French Catholics, call their deity, so to speak. And he's nothing more than Satan himself. So, and that was going to be placed in the graven image in every house of worship, Jewish house of worship, all around the realm, including the temple in Jerusalem. Okay? And it was. But the Jews, before they had a chance to set up Caligula's graven image in the temple, dragged it out. Okay? Now, Nero, the fifth head, he ordered the destruction or the invasion of Jerusalem, or invasion of Israel, Judea. But Nero was so hated. This is where we go into detail about Nero, was how hated he was. Where's Nero? Was a great grandson of Augustus. See, they were all related in some way. Vespasian was not. And Livia through his mother. Agrippina, the younger Agrippina, I can't speak. Roman, was a daughter of Germanicus and Agrippina the elder, as well as Caligula's sister through his mother. Nero was related by blood to the Julian Claudian branches. This is what I'm trying to tell you, folks. All of the seven that I mentioned, they were all related. But Vespasian, the eighth, was not. And Vespasian carried out the will of the seven. But he ended the Julio Claudius dynasty. That's the reason why it is written here in Revelation 17, where it talks about the mystery explained. It says, the beast which you saw. He said, I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carried her, which has the seven heads and 10 horns. The beast which you saw and is not shall ascend out of the abyssos and go into perdition. Who is that? That's Vespasian. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. And if you wonder and you can't comprehend this, that's the reason. When they beheld the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind of them that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits, and there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is now. All right. So that tells you that while the messenger was speaking to Yochanan, at that moment in time, Augustus was dead, Tiberias was dead already, Caligula was dead, Claudius was dead, Nero was gone And while they were speaking, Galba was the one in control. But how long did Galba's reign last? Not very long. And how long did number 7 last? What says right here, and the other, the last one, the 7th, is not yet come, and when he comes, he must continue a short space. Well, how long was Vitellius's rule? Just 8 months. That's it. Exactly as it is written. 8 months. So it says a short space. Few, little, small. 8 months. So what the messenger is pointing out to Yochanan, that the destruction of Jerusalem is about to commence in just a few short months. Now the beast that was, in other words, the first beast, but is not, and is not, even he is the 8th. So the 8th is of the 7. The 8th is Vespasian. He is of the 7. But the 7 heads are all related. Vespasian is not related to, I'll show you that too. To the Julio Claudius. No! But he was of the 7, but the 7 were related, but he was the 8th. That's why you do not understand what is written here. You got tunnel vision. And you refuse to study. Okay? All you're going to do is you're going to take the word of your mixed up preacher to your own peril. Now, the beast that you saw was and is not shall ascend out of the abyssos, the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, and go into perdition. Now it says, and go, that's bring. Bring the place of destruction. Not be destroyed himself. No, he's going to bring the destruction. Bring it where? Bring it to Jerusalem. That was Vespasian. Now, we did read about Nero, okay, whereas about, and it was given to, yes, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemy, slander. So in order to make war against the Jews in Jerusalem, you have to slander them. This is what he did. And power was given unto him to continue, or to proceed for 42 months, and he did. From 66 to 70. The siege of Jerusalem began and ended with the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple. 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against not God, but Jehovah, to slander his name, just like you Christians are doing right now. And his tabernacle, he slandered Jerusalem and the temple, and also them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with not the saints, but with the Kodesh. Remember what I told you in the last video. Be careful with your words. Do not exchange one word for another. The name of Adam's wife was not Eve. It was Chava. This is the reason why, if you do not follow that principle, you will never, ever understand the truth. Because word replacement and name replacement will guarantee the slippery slope down into darkness and confusion. And he overcame them. Yes, he did. And power was given unto him over all the kindreds and the tongues and the Gentiles. And all those that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb from the foundation of the world. But then it says, he that leads into captivity is going to go into captivity. That's Rome. He that kills with a sword must be killed with a sword. This is what the Kodesh are patiently waiting for right now, even to this day. So what Rome did to Jerusalem, Jerusalem must do to Rome. That's when the time of the Gentiles comes to the end, when all Israel shall be saved. I hope you understand and understood what I just pointed out to you today.